in us. Fly without boarding pass. Couldn't catch me, I be moving fast. Call me a shooting star. Let 'em know who you are. Flying up in a bar. Wish on a star. Time to show 'em who's in charge. Call me a shooting star. Didn't even get to cross. I said I'm moving too far. Get to glass. Looking at a shooting star. Got more than a couple of people going mad. I swear they're rooting hard. Tell them I be big in the game like she went and got them breast implants. I said I'm moving too fast. Didn't even get a glance. I'm ready to eat up track like I'm seated in a restaurant. If you had swag like mine, you know it's best to flaunt. We aren't hating because you aren't. Shining like it's neon. Rock like kings of Leon. Shooting stars across the galaxy. I stand out, so don't be mad at me. Infiltrate, I'm with my strategy. When that's enough, then I just have to leave. Shooting stars across the galaxy. I stand out, so don't be mad at me. Infiltrate, I'm with my strategy. When that's enough, then I just have to leave. Yeah, shooting. Yeah, shooting. Yeah, shooting. Yeah, shooting shots. Shooting stars. Didn't even get to cross.
Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away? Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away?
Hello, how you doing, everyone? It's Monday. It's another week of speculation, transfer news, and all good things and all bad things at Tottenham Hotspur. Make sure tonight you check out our podcast, Monday Night, best show in town. If you haven't watched us on a Monday, you don't know what you're doing. Well, you do know what you're doing, but you're missing out. Big up to everyone in the chat. How you doing? We've got El Said, Louis, Gary, Sammy, Rob Scorpion for life, and Lily White Lane. Big up Robbie. Jason Groves, how you doing? Been a while. We've got Paul Scholesy, Seb, Niall, Brian Daigle. Big up Brian Daigle. James Flower, Blake, Christopher B, LJ Baker, James Flower, Wolves F1. Listen, as always, 30 minutes with Stel is literally going to be 30 minutes, not an hour. So I want to get things going as quick as I can because time is limited. But yeah, I did a 30 minutes with Stel last week and I said how this Kane situation needs to be sorted. It's only going to get more toxic and the manager is beginning to show signs of being fed up of it and that we need to put a deadline on it. Now, a few small things have happened since. So today, again, ITK in the know, who knows? This was story that was broken, and a few of the socials ran with it. Daniel Levy has been told by Joe Lewis he must sell Harry Kane if no new contract is agreed. And this is kind of what I was saying, and I've been saying it for quite a while now. They're not going to let £100 million walk out the front door, and they're not going to allow £100 million to just disappear off the balance sheet. This is a business. Daniel Levy runs it like a business. Joe Lewis looks at it like an investment. These guys aren't in it for football. They aren't interested if we win trophies or not, as long as the financials are healthy, the business is a viable business, and that they're going to be able to sell it for a far greater value than what they purchased it for. This is what they're in it for. Tottenham Hotspur have given Harry Kane an ultimatum about his future. Sign a new deal or we will sell you now. Spurs owner Joe Lewis understood to have told Chairman Daniel Levy he will not let Kane run down his contract and leave for free next summer. Sources. What kind of sauce? Mustard? Apple sauce? Heinz ketchup? Sources say Lewis has told Levy to either make Kane sign a new contract extension or sell him in the transfer window. Now, this cracks me up, right? This makes me laugh because what exactly is the ultimatum? Sign or we sell you. Ooh. How's that an ultimatum? If Harry Kane doesn't sign, he's going to leave anyway on a free. There's no ultimatum. This is wild. It's for the birds. Sign or we sell you. Okay, sell me then. I've already agreed to go to Bayern. Sell me. The problem Joe Lewis and Daniel Levy have got is this. They want £100 million. There's no ultimatum. The ultimatum actually comes from Bayern Munich. Take the 70 million or he walks on a free. And this is what I was saying last week. Harry Kane holds all the cards. He either stays and runs down his contract or someone buys him, but Levy has to lower the price. There is no ultimatum. This is bonkers. Sign or we sell you now. Where's the ultimatum? I don't understand. Is this not a case of what we saw with the Raya situation, where Raya Brentford wanted £40 million, but we refused to pay £40 million for a player that's got 1 year left on his contract? Well, is this now not exactly how Bayern Munich view Harry Kane? We're not paying £100 million for a player that's got 1 year left on his contract. So when it comes to Raya, our fan base will say, good bit of business by Daniel Levy. He shouldn't pay £40 million for a player with 1 year on his contract. But now the shoe's on the other foot. We should only demand £100 million. Don't sell for a penny less. Where's the logic? You praise Daniel Levy for not paying £40 million because there's only 1 year left on the player's contract when it comes to Raya, the goalie. But when it comes to one of our own, you expect the opposite to happen. There is no logic in that. That makes no sense whatsoever. So there's no ultimatum. It really is a case that if Harry Kane doesn't sign a new contract, then you have to lower your price. Otherwise, he's going to go for free. Bayern Munich aren't going to pay £100 million. Nobody is. You can wait 6 months and sign him on a pre-agreement for free. It's crazy. Heung-Min Son has come out and said some really nice things here about Harry Kane. Harry has been fantastic for me. He's always professional, always working hard. He's never showed any thoughts about himself. There's so much news going on around. It's also not easy for him. But he's captain at the moment. He's captain and he's working with the team. Do you know what's interesting about that? where he said, there's so much news going around, it's not easy for him. That means everything that we've been saying is disrupting the camp. They're reading social media. They're seeing the news. They're probably watching a couple of YouTube shows for bants. They know. Harry Kane knows exactly what he's doing, and he's playing a blinder. Harry Kane is playing an absolute blinder because he's learnt from the past of what happened with Man City. He's not going on strike. He's turning up to training. He's all smiles. Harry Kane is playing a textbook move by a professional football player. He's learned. And Levy can't handle it. Levy's back is up against the wall. And Joe Lewis is now panicking. Sell him then. But I can't. That means we have to lower the price. No, get 100 million. From who? Give him an ultimatum. What's the ultimatum? He doesn't show any distraction. He's not bothered, you know. Well, how can you just say it's not easy for him, but he's not bothered? That's a bit of a contradiction. He loves being here. I agree. I think Harry Kane loves being at Spurs. Why else would you stick around for so long? I love him as a player. I fully respect him. He's one of the best strikers in the world and has been for 5, 6, 7 years in a row. The decision will be between the club and Harry, and we have to respect it. And this is what we've been saying all along. This is between the club and Harry. Harry has never shown any distraction. He's always one of the hardest working guys, working hard as a striker, sprinting back when we lose the ball. He's a great example. And imagine, Richarlison's going to replace that, is he? I don't think so. And we're going to invest the Harry Kane money if we sell him on a striker that's worthy of his boots. I don't think so. He's an absolute professional, an elite player. We're so lucky he's at Spurs. We're so frigging lucky he came through our academy. We're not going to replace this guy. And a lot of fans that say, oh, we've got to learn to live life after Harry Kane. And look, we just got to let him go. And you don't build by letting your best players go. Lessons from the past. We never built by letting Modric go, Berbatov go, Bale, Carrick, Ericsson, Walker. We never built Van der Vaart. We never built by letting our best players go. You build by keeping your best players and adding. And that's what we failed to do with Harry Kane. Daniel Levy has let down this team and he's let down Kane. Had we built and added more quality with Kane, we could have been something special. Instead, bang, we hit the sabotage button and look where we are now. Reality. People don't want to hear it, but it's the truth. I can't say anything about the final decision because I don't know anything. Probably Harry doesn't know. I think Harry's just happy to see this one out. It's the club that's stressing and fans are getting anxious. We just have to wait. Playing with him is always fun. It's a joy. Watching him training, there's lots of things to learn. So clearly, Son and Kane have got a fantastic partnership, and it's a bit of PR as well, isn't it? Son coming out and talking about it. Why? Who's told him to come out and speak now? Why would you talk about it now? So clearly, to me, this is a bit of PR because Son is probably going to replace Kane, isn't he? Because it can't be Richarlison. If Richarlison replaces Kane, we're finished. He's not a good football player. So Son will probably be the striker. Because, like I said, there's no way we're going to go and spend this money on a top striker. You think we're going to go and pay 70, 80 million pounds for Vlahovic? Does Vlahovic even want to come to Spurs? Probably not. So I want to know what the ultimatum is. Before I carry on, let me just do a couple of comments because I don't want to get behind. Big up to everyone in the chat, by the way. Thank you for watching. Make sure you touch the like button. Celtic fans said the same thing that Spurs are saying, and in time Celtic loved the guy. We don't have an issue with Ange. No. We like Ange. This is about Harry Kane. This 30-minute with Stel is about Harry Kane. Sure, the same will happen. He plays attacking football. He will get the best out of Son and Kane. Yeah, but Kane might not be here. That's the point. Strip Bear, can you please stop flooding the chat, bro? Appreciate that. New channel member, big up. This is London Broil. Thank you for becoming a channel member. Much appreciated. Stel in, leave you out. Yeah, I'm up for that. Bayern fan here. I feel sorry for you. It's like the same situation we have with Lewandowski. It's interesting that you've said that, and thank you for watching the show, because our fans are very divided on this, and I don't see how we keep Harry Kane. I don't see a way forward with this. I think he's been at the club for so long. He's seen so many different managers that he now understands how we operate. And speaking to all his football friends in the football world that have told him what it's like at other clubs, he probably wants to see what it's like there, because it probably sounds like he can win trophies there. And I get it. I don't blame Kane for leaving. I think we failed him and a lot of players at Spurs, but, you know, opinions. The longer this goes on, over the sake of 10, 20 million, the more this impacts the team and affects the season, which at the end could cost us a decent league. I fully agree. I fully agree. Raya and Kane, completely different players. Raya and Kane, both 1 year left on their contract. Raya is regarded as one of the best goalkeepers in the Premier League. Harry Kane is regarded as one of the best strikers in the Premier League. Please tell me how it's completely different. He isn't comparing the players, he's comparing the situation. Correct. The heart controlling the mind, better to be a Vulcan in such matters unless a Chelsea fan. I kind of don't understand it, but I'm going to say, okay, why not? Big up the disabled team. Hope you're good. Kane cost Spurs nothing. Made us relevant, earning Levy hundreds of millions, and is now kicking off over essentially an asset. Levy should respect what Kane has done for him and the club. Well, the thing is, Harry Kane's respecting the last year of his contract. He hasn't put in a transfer request. He's turning up for training. He's putting on a positive look. I don't know what more Kane can do. I don't trust Levy to spend £100 million, nor do I. I don't think Bayern will spend more than 100 million, and that's in Europe. And you shouldn't have to, because he's only got 1 year left in his contract. Bayern Munich, your club in January can put in place a pre-agreement and have Harry Kane signed up, ready to come to you at the end of May. You can put that in place for free in January. So why would you pay over 100 million? It makes no sense. Still, will this affect the atmosphere if Kane starts the season in the stadium? Look, the fans will get behind the team regardless. And if we're playing good football, I think the fans will just be, you know, fully supportive. I don't think it will, no. It's Ange that it might affect, because he's having to plan, not knowing who the striker is going to be at the club next season, whilst he's already worried about the fact we haven't brought in defenders. He knows the defence is rubbish. And the fact that if Kane does go, who does he bring in? Who is going to be the replacement? So I think it affects the manager more than anyone else, because you need to be able to prepare. That's the whole point of pre-season and the start to the season. You want to get off to a good start because it's good for confidence. So I think it affects him the most. And I'm sure players like Son, who are friends with Kane, and other players in the team that feel more confident with Kane in the squad, it might affect them a little bit. But the atmosphere would affect the atmosphere in the stadium specifically, was your question? No, I don't think it would affect the atmosphere. I just hope if we sell Kane, we don't buy shite. Like, I think we will buy shite, because who's going to want to come to us? What top strikers are going to want to come to us? It annoys the hell out of me when Levy in people say, look at our training complex, look at our stadium. Training complex, 11 years old now, stadium 5 years this season. How is this complimentary? The stadium's done nothing for us. We've regressed, if we're going to be honest with it. Scorpions, fan for life. Stel, why do you diss Richie saying he's not good when Brazil clearly rate him very highly? Don't give up on him yet. When's the last time Brazil won a World Cup? When's the last time Brazil have ever done anything? Richie's overrated. He's not a good player. I haven't given up on him. I was never on board in the first place, if I'm going to be honest with you. Morning, Treacle. Hello, darling. if you got Kane, but you fell to the bottom, will you curse him? We wouldn't fall to the bottom with Kane. He's one of the best strikers in the league. I don't understand what you're trying to ask me there. The ultimatum story is a feeble attempt by Tottenham's PR department at trying to deflect the flack Levy will deserve received when Spurs sell Kane. You're probably right. It's always PR, isn't it, with us? Got a super chat here. Thank you, Strip Bear. Like your views, one of the few Tottenham channels I adore for reasonable thoughts. Sorry for flooding, not a bro, mate. It's all right. We don't block people here unless they're nasty. You haven't been nasty. Jason, it's been a while. Honestly, Stel, if he wants to, important part, wants to. But if he does want to go, sell him and move on. I agree. We shouldn't want to keep any player at the club that doesn't want to be here. Otherwise, they're not fully committed. I just wish Harry made his wishes known. Yeah, but Jason, if he comes out and speaks, then he puts himself as the bad guy, right? This is kind of what happened last time with Man City, where he kind of said it without saying that I want to leave. And the fans turned on Kane. I won't forget that. Our fans turned on Harry Kane. So what he's doing now is he's looking after his image. He's protecting his best interest. I think it's for the club to come out and grab hold of this. The club needs to sort this out. The club needs to say, right, Kane, are you staying or not? And if Harry Kane says, no, I'm not, then the club needs to make a decision. Right, do we sell you and drop our price so that someone will actually buy you? Or do we keep you for a year and let you go on a free? I think that is the club's decision. Just my opinion, though. The whole Joe Daniel story is probably a guess and then pick up by the journalists. Probably. Henry Fright TV, good for the good of the team, sell Kane if he's not going to sign. I don't understand the other argument of keeping him for just 1 year. For what? We won't be relegated if Kane leaves. I don't think we'll be relegated either. Big up to Full Works, Graham in the house. As you all know, Levy has to sell Kane and the team's financial debt limit is in crisis. And I fully understand some fans' mind, but it's right to let him go for a team change. Yes, I believe he should be allowed to go as well. Right, I'll come back to the comments in just a minute. I want to wrap up. Patrick from Last Word on Spurs today tweet out saying, if any of you believe that an 86-year-old billionaire has now randomly come out and given Levy an ultimatum on Kane, then you're stupid. Okay? Straight up. I literally said on tonight's Last Word on Spurs pod that the media absolutely hate us and will always do the most for clicks and bites. Now, I responded to this, disagreeing, saying, will an 86-year-old billionaire who's been as tight as they come allow a £100 million asset to leave for zero and be wiped off the balance sheet? I don't think he's stupid, and I don't think we're stupid for saying it. The media are reporting on speculation and the fact that the highest profile English player has 1 year left on his contract and he's not re-signed. So I don't think the media are hating us right now. Harry Kane is the most high profile player in England, as in an English player. And he's got 1 year left of his contract. This is big, big news. I don't think this has got anything to do with the media hating us. I disagree with Patrick. Johnny here says, if Kane is wanting to leave, should Ange send him home now? My response to that was, how do you send a player who's earning £250,000 a week? How do you send him home to do nothing? You don't send a player home if he wants to leave, because he's still remaining a professional. If he was being disruptive, going on strike, things like that, then yeah, okay. Then there's cause for action. But then that's breach of a contract if you do those things. That's why Luka Modric and Gareth Bale got fined when they did it. Harry Kane is increasingly becoming a major distraction, not just to the team. I don't think he's becoming the distraction. I think the club's lack of action and communication on the situation is the distraction. I fully blame the club for this. They're not grabbing hold of it. And I'm being consistent. I'm saying this every time we talk about Kane. This isn't just a reactionary knee-jerk thought of mine. I've been saying this for weeks. But Kane is also undermining Ange's preparations for the season ahead. 20 days to go and we're a mess. I don't think Postecoglou is being undermined by Kane. The club are undermining Postecoglou by not sorting the situation out. The club are undermining Postecoglou by not bringing in new defenders. The club are undermining Postecoglou by sending us on some Hail Mary of a tour around the world that hasn't allowed us to have a proper pre-season. The things that fans are getting frustrated about, pre-season, no defenders, Harry Kane situation, this is all the club. This is what we've been used to for 23 years of mismanagement of the football team. Off the field, we're electric. On the field, we're a broken gas burner. So I don't think it's right that we put the Harry Kane situation and the club being in a mess as something that is affecting Ange, but it's Kane's fault. It's Levy's fault. It's Donna Cullen's fault. It's Joe Lewis's fault. It's all the people that sit on that board. Where's the football director? Why haven't we sold any of the players that need to be sold? Only Harry Winks has gone. That's not Harry Kane's fault. That's what we are. Shambles FC right now. But it's not all doom and gloom. There's still time to rectify it. But with each day that goes by, the frustration and the toxicity will grow. This feeling sorry for the new manager stuff, honestly. Has he lived under a rock under the last 23 years? Did he not see the last two managers who are far more qualified than him? Why join us? Exactly. He's done his due diligence. He knows, Postecoglou knows what he's walked into. By the way, green tea with jasmine in it. There's a company called Taylor's Tea Bags. Jasmine and green tea is unbelievable. I love it. I've got into it recently. It's good for your health as well, apparently. So nice. Stel, once Kane is gone, what young striker would you want? Look. Okay, so Gary, this is what I was saying also a couple of months ago. Or was it weeks ago? I can't remember. If we're really going to do a rebuild, okay, if we're genuinely going to rebuild the club, the football team, then is this not now the golden opportunity to say, look, we're going to write off next season and probably next season, kind of what Arsenal did with Arteta finishing eighth, and then they jumped forward. Is it not now a time to say, do you know what? Forget buying centre-backs, forget buying strikers. Let's bring in Parrott. Let's bring in Dane Scarlett. Let's bring in Donington. Let's bring in Malachi Walcott. Let's bring in Charlie Sawyers, right? 3 defenders, Walcott, Donington, Charlie Sawyers, 2 strikers, Parrott and Dane Scarlett. Start coaching and working with them now and bring them into this squad. And fingers crossed, if we get it right, not now, not next season, but the season after, we might have 2 really good strikers, 1 of our own, or 2 of our own, and 3 really good centre-backs, 3 of our own. But do it now. Have you got the balls? Have you got the guts to trust your academy players? Go through the rough that comes with the transition of going from youth football to adult football. Bed them in, encourage them, support them, let them make failures, let them make errors as part of their learning process. And in 2-3 years' time, maybe we've got Saka, Smith Rowe, Reece James, Foden. Maybe we've got some really exciting talent on our hands. But we will never, ever, ever learn or know unless we do it. So, to answer your question, what young strikers would you want? I wouldn't bring in anyone. I'd start bringing the academy through into our first team. But fans need to take the hits and the club need to take the hits for a couple of years whilst this beds in. Because it's not going to happen in a couple of weeks or a few months. Can't have fans in 3 months saying, oh, Skip is shit. Harry Winks is rubbish. Get them off the... How's about we build a team with them and let them grow with us? That's what I would do. But I'm talking as someone that loves youth football, that's got years of youth football coaching behind him. So I'm going to be a little bit biased there. But that's what I would do. But we need to be brave if we're going to do that. Isn't the club motto, to dare is to do? Why don't we dare and do it? Sell him and buy 2 centre-backs. Thinking about the Kane situation, imagine if he does sign to Bayern in January, the atmosphere would be so toxic. It would be unreal. If Harry Kane walks on a free, it's going to be a meltdown. Al Hilal have offered Mbappe 700 million euros. That's 13 million a week. That's just stupid, isn't it? That's more. There's no brains. These people got money to burn, man. Donate some to us. Give some to Tottenham. Where's that money from our great stadium, which is the naming rights? I don't know, man. Where is it? How many seasons has the club dragging this for? How's about all these amazing events that we hold in NFL and rugby and Beyonce and Lady Gaga and go-karting? Where's the money for that? Big up, Stel. You, Sava Henry, the realist. Anyone who supports Levy are clearly gooners at heart. It's hard to understand it, isn't it? Stel, would you go for Tony as Kane replacement? If not, who? Look, I've just said I'd bet in the strikers. But if we had to buy, right, if we had to go and buy, yeah, I'd buy Tony. But I don't think any club's going to touch him right now because of what's happened. Betting against your own club. Actually putting money down and betting against your own team losing. I don't know if any club's going to touch him. Saying that, we've got Paratici at the club. He likes to commit a bit of fraud. Maybe Tony and Paratici would be a good combination. If the only offer is 85 million, then I would forfeit the 80 million to keep Kane for a season and the chance of Champions League. I disagree with you, mate. I'm not going to lie. I disagree with you. That Champions League is a big if. Big if. We can't even beat West Ham, buddy. We can't even beat West Ham, who in a relegation were in a relegation fight all of last season, and they've lost their best player, and we lost to them because we can't defend. Harry Kane isn't enough to get us Champions League. Just my opinion. Just my opinion. So many news stories are sources close to it has been reported that it is widely believed that it's so true. Pure creative license for makeup, complete junk as news stories. Who knows what's true? Big up, Stel. Our PR is so dumb. Putting an ultimatum tells Bayern to just wait until it expires. I don't think we've got to give Kane an ultimatum. I just think we need to give Kane a deadline upon which he has to make a decision, and then we know what to do next as a club. Football business booming, absolute top beyond insanity. So true. Still, as yesterday I said you could get kimchi at Sainsbury's. I was thinking of the Korean spicy paste. I get my kimchi from my local Asian market. Don't worry, I figured it out with Will afterwards. I thought that was the case. If Kane moves, I think it's better to get a big centre-back player, not a player like Maguire. If we get Maguire, I think there's going to be chaos at Tottenham. If we get the fridge Maguire, there's going to be absolute carnage at our club. There's no way we're going to accept that as a player. Honestly, I do not want Maguire. I really do not want Harry Maguire. I'd rather keep Eric Dyer. Honestly, I'd keep Eric Dyer. And I don't want Dyer. We've spent years talking about how Levy is behind all of our woes. Ultimately, he's the person who makes the decision. Why would this be any different? Ultimately, if Levy wants to sell him, he's gone. Correct. As long as Harry Kane agrees to the club that wants to buy him, as long as Harry Kane's happy going to buy Munich. For example, if PSG come in, but Kane doesn't want to go to PSG, then Levy can't send to PSG. Kane has to agree to it as well. Hi, Stel. Great channel. Keep up the good work. Thank you, my man. We finished 8th for a reason. Been on the decline since 2019 Champions League final. Correct. 1 trophy under this ownership says it. Oh, I agree, mate. I've been banging that drum for God knows how long. You could send half this squad home. Yep. Big up to Strip Bear becoming a YouTube member. Thank you so much, my man. Or woman. Or whatever gender you might be. Kane will stay. My friend's cousin's girlfriend's dad's uncle's nurse husband's friend knows Kane. It's good that you are in the know. This was the same situation. If this was the same situation at Man City, it would have been dealt with before the press printed the story. Ugh. We're just really bad with communication and PR at Tottenham, aren't we? Arsenal is ninth in. If Arsenal is ninth in the table in December, and Arteta gets sacked, yeah, I think he will. If that happens, but that won't happen. Arsenal too good. There's no revenue in it for Levy, mate. There's no revenue in what? What specifically are you talking about? Big up, by the way, Alex. Fat Boy Gossenalim says, sorry if I got your name wrong. The ultimatum Stel in a roundabout ways. For buying to get Kane, it has to be now at a price negotiated with Levy. Of course, common sense. Next year, no chance he goes to Bayern when he has the pick of clubs. That's leverage. Yeah, but Bayern aren't going to pay £100 million, knowing that they could potentially sign him on a pre-agreement for free in January, because all the overseas clubs can arrange pre-agreements in January. The UK club can't. So there's leverage both ways. I'd like to see Donington and Sois in the first team. Me too. Me too. Hang on. How do we know there's any truth in the story? We don't know if there's truth in any story. It would be easy to fabricate that. And Lewis said this, and absolutely, I agree. Thank you for the super chat. The mighty saw. This would have happened if Levy. Right, this wouldn't have happened if Levy honoured the gentleman's agreement with Kane, moved to City, to be fair. Yeah. Yeah. And maybe that's why Kane is doing it this time. It's almost a little bit of payback. And also, he doesn't want to fall into the same trap that he fell in last time where the fans turned against him. Look, I said it earlier on in the show. I think Harry Kane is playing a blinder here. I think he's absolutely got this on point. And it's Levy whose backs up is against the wall. Thanks, Stel. Wicked reply. All right. Yeah, mate, honestly, name me a time ever in the last 10 years where we could really develop the current squad, get rid of the rubbish, of course, and bring through a wave of youngsters. Now's the time. I don't think we'll ever get a chance like this again. Not for a long time. We have a squad of 37 players. When are we going to get rid of some? Graham, spot on. Do you know what? I was actually saying this to Iggy the other day, and to Will, and to Mari, and all the JP, all the Tottenham away guys. We haven't got rid of any of the deadwood. The squad can only be 25 max. We've got to get rid of 12 players. But this is what happens when you don't get a director of footballing, right? This is what happens. So the whole point of the question is, how do you deal with Kane leaving? That's why I'm telling you, if you hire two big centre-backs at a reasonable price for the Kane money, it will change at least. Look, there's lots of different ways we could use the Kane money and various ways we could strengthen the team with that money, but we need to get that money. At the moment, we don't know what's going on with Kane. There's no direction with the Harry Kane situation. Just a few more questions, guys. I'm going to wrap up because it is only a 30-minute show. What does Levy have against Mbappe? Why is Levy trolling Mbappe by putting out laughable news that Tottenham wants Mbappe? Levy can't afford him. Do you know, I'm trying not to laugh because I know you're joking. The hat is back. It's back, people. I brought it back due to popular demand. But if those players aren't good enough, which players? Winks didn't prove to be. Right, the problem with Winks was, when he came through the academy, he was an attacking mid. If you go and look at his first couple of seasons when Poch brought him through, Harry Winks was actually good and he got an England call-up. Then he got a major injury. By the time he came back, I think it took 9 months. Ericsson was the darling of attacking midfielders. Winks was never going to go and play in the Ericsson role because Ericsson was just flying, right? So we tried to shoehorn Harry Winks into a holding mid position. It was a disaster. He was never holding mid. He'll never be holding mid. And essentially, that transition from youth to adult, we ruined it. It's a very important part of a young player's development, the transition from youth to adult. And I think we wrecked it. With Oliver Skipp, I'm seeing the same thing. And I've said this in the past. Oliver Skipp is a good player. I'm not saying he's De Bruyne, but he's a good player. But he's had 5 different managers, 5 different systems, 5 different requests of what to do. I want to see Oliver Skipp with one manager for 3 years under one system and then judge him. And that's why I say bring through the youngsters now, because it does look like we are probably going to keep Ange for the long term. Fingers crossed. I don't want to see another manager in, out. That's why I say it. I hope that makes sense. 100% with your developing youth. Yeah. Are the Saudis compelled to work with FFP? They probably own FFP. They probably bought UEFA. We don't even know about it yet. Atrocious the way we run as a football club. Purple and gold till we're sold. KFC bargain bucket signings every season. And that's why, my friend, we are Shambles FC. All right, guys, listen, I'm going to wrap it up there. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for tuning in. I do want to keep these short and sweet. I don't want to turn into the long ass drawn out shows. I'll just do 2 more and then we'll call it a day. Bet you we sell Kane right before the window shuts and not have enough time to spend any of the money we get for him. Well, then, Robbie, there'll be another meltdown, as you know. No, Stel, Kane doesn't have to react to a deadline. That's the joy of having a contract. He's protected. Doesn't matter what Lewis says. Why would Kane want to walk away from the goal scoring record? I think you missed my point. The club needs to put a deadline. Are you going to stay or are you going to go? If he says, I'm going to stay, then he signs a new contract. If he says, no, I'm not signing a new contract, then the club puts him up for sale. Now, whether Kane chooses to take a move that is offered, whether Kane chooses, actually, no, I'm going to stay and see out my contract. Yeah, he can do that. I agree. But the point I'm making is, it's not about Kane reacting to a deadline. It's about the club putting a deadline on the situation from a club perspective. That's what I'm trying to say. All right, guys, listen, check us out tonight, 8:30 p.m. Myself, Iggy, Mari, JP, I think Maz, and I think Lee about tonight. Will 8:30 p.m. Tottenham away. We're going to be covering everything that has happened in the past week and looking forward to are we looking forward to this week? Let's find out. Guys, appreciate you. Good luck to everything that you do this week, and I will see you later on tonight. Take care.
The first game we look for, Robbie. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away.